So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion on consent? Any public comment? Seeing no, bring it back to the board. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent carries. No unfinished business tonight. We'll move right into new business. Item A, amended purchasing and contracting policy.
We are requesting amending the purchasing policy, the purchasing and contracting policy to allow the executive director to purchase routine standard inventory items. These are transformers and meters that are essential for the electric operations, and this will include the ONTs for the fiber operations. This amendment will put us in alignment with other utilities that operate with purchase of inventory items through approval of the executive director, and it will help us ensure that we maintain reliability for our ratepayers. We've added additional safeguards to internal control to compensate for this, so we will make sure that purchases will not exceed budgets that are in the operating budget and the capital plans. There's additional reporting requirements to the board, and then the inventory items have to be part of our established inventory system framework purchasing. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Carla. Let's open up for any questions on the amended policy proposal. I don't have any questions either. I had the benefit of a pre-brief, so then let me see if there's any. I have some comments. I'm going to wait till we have a motion in the order of respecting process. So if there aren't any questions.
I will move that the Light and Power Board approve amending the purchasing and contracting policy effective immediately.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. All right. Now I'll ask the board first any discussion items you want to get into.
As a comment, I think it makes a lot of sense. It seems strange that it hasn't happened before now, but I think it's really smart, efficient.
Yes. Good. Any other comments or discussion? Well, I was just going to point out, I thought, I agree, and when I was discussing this with staff, it is just pragmatic and efficient. And then I did look at it with a, sort of an eye for control and making sure that we felt like there was no inappropriate delegation. And one of the things I'm just going to highlight that, the policy is good, but I think the other thing that sort of inventorying what you did and telling us, no pun intended, sharing what you procured that this policy allowed with the board annually that sort of summarizes, here's all the things that we acquired. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there may be, there's always the chance we don't like what we hear, but that is a form of control. Mm-hmm. And, on an annual basis, we will see, and again, I think it's completely common sense to do this, but in some instance where there was some line that, we're going to discuss as a group, there'd be a basis for me to say, okay, maybe that was too much, or maybe that we should amend the policy again. But I think that annual disclosure, to me, gives us a basis to deliberate on if there's something we don't see today that we see a year from now. With their agreement, I also thought it was a good policy and smart change. Okay.
Thank you for that. And then also additionally, as we kind of hone in and put together some reports, if there's things you want to make certain that we're touching on, definitely don't be shy. Because it's an opportunity to really kind of do a little bit more of enhance our planning some more, and so, be open to giving some feedback as we're putting together some of those details.
We will.
Not to rock the boat, but would there be any reason to do it more than annually in terms of the, I don't know.
It's a fair question. I think that's how, maybe the way to answer however you'd like, but is there, how do you expect the magnitude, like how frequently, how much stuff is going to fall under this, and how frequently do you think you'll be making purchases? I think it's probably asking a lot, but.
Offhand, I feel like it might be a few times a year, not very often. The biggest piece that I'm trying to avoid is where we have to make a decision to procure something, and then I'm coming to you with a confirming PO. That's awkward for me.
You've almost put us in a corner unintentionally.
Absolutely. And so I don't feel like it happens too often, but for those instances, it's an opportunity just to have some controls and some efficiencies. I did want to take the opportunity over the past couple years. It was something that I was noticing when I came on board in 22, but I wanted to give us a couple years experience to see how frequently it might be occurring. But I feel like it's maybe just a couple of times a year. I don't know, Carla looks at this much more closely than me. What do you think, Carla?
Yeah, I would agree. It happens a couple times a year. I think it ranges, maybe 2 one year, 4 the other, but it's not.
So that's probably
Yeah,
a
that
good
makes,
basis
that
for
makes sense.
annually.
That explains it.
Good. All right, any other deliberation? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Carla. And then on to new business, item 2, which is the executive director contract, and I believe I'll pass off to Ms. Davila, who chaired that committee.
Yeah, my pleasure. We went through, just to bring everyone up to speed on the process, so we all participated in review, including the review meeting, and then I had an HR ad hoc committee to discuss changes to the executive director's employment agreement contract following that performance review. Hopefully you've all had a time to look at the attached memo, but the main points here are effective July 1st, a 6.5% salary increase, which is reflective of the performance review, as well as the APPA salary study that benchmarks comparable executive director, CEO salaries and benefits compared to the market. We also recommend some smaller changes to the employer contribution. And then going forward, what we're really excited about is to move from a yearly contract to a 3-year contract, and also create a slightly better instrument that allows for planning in terms of our reviews and how that translates into compensation. And so you can see the rating scale that we've developed here, as well as what we recommend, which includes a standard inflationary adjustment as well as a merit-based adjustment there. So that's kind of what we recommend as an ad hoc, and we can go to the motion and questions.
Any questions, clarifying questions first?
Yeah, I do. I thought, because I was looking for that, and I didn't see where it moved to a 3-year contract, because I know that was something that was discussed at the review. Did I miss that? In
There's
the,
a date, it said in sort of, it gives the dates.
where?
Right
down.
above the rating scale, the paragraph under
Yeah.
compensation.
Effective,
Oh, yeah, so just by saying those 2 years, you're saying we're not coming, yeah, that, okay.
I see why it was
Yeah,
It's just a
that
little,
makes
it's
sense.
implied, but not really, okay. So it
Yep.
is, we are going to a 3-year, sort of, okay.
Correct.
Thank you for that. Any other questions, clarifying questions? All right, would anybody make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I
Yes, sir.
move that the Light and Power Board authorizes the chairman to execute the amendment to the executive director employment agreement with Brandy Ekren as approved to form by general counsel.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, any further discussion? Okay, well, I will, as a member of the ad hoc, I just think it was, we recognize that this is a compensation change that would require exceptional performance. And we found as a board exceptional performance. And so this was commensurate with that. So great job. And I know with every executive director, there's a good team supporting you, Brandy. So I'll recognize that as well, as I'm sure you will. But congratulations, and here's 3 more good years, at least. Anything from the public? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. We might get Mr. Getz record yet. We're on to reports and communications.
All right. Thank you. Thank you again, too.
You're-
You.
So I think we don't really have any formal reports, but I did want to have an opportunity just to recognize Darren Dixon. So today is Darren's official last board meeting. for Light and Power. He'll be, I guess, moving on to some fun adventures in middle of July, but we wanted to take an opportunity to at least give you an opportunity to thank him for his service. Darren has been instrumental in my transitioning to TCOP in 2002, but he joined us in 2017, so he's been with the utility as the operations manager since 2017, 7 years. And I would be remiss if I didn't show my appreciation and give you an opportunity to show your appreciation, even though I think he's living his best life, his last month here right now. But I wanted to just maybe give Darren an opportunity. Darren, I don't know if you wanted to share anything in particular, or?
I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to work with all the good people, and including the board, of course. Yeah, it's been great. It's been kind of nice to, again, work for a smaller utility where you can, work with people making change very rapidly compared to some of the bigger companies that it takes a lot. And it's really segmented and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, for sure. And yeah, it's been a lot of change. I think it's been good.
Indeed.
So, yeah, thanks.
All right, any other comments on this item? Go ahead, Ms. Tobin.
Well, I knew Darren only by phone conversations way back. And when I finally met him, I'm like, you're Darren. So he was instrumental in helping Central Neighborhood vet certain light fixtures for the street lights and looking for feedback. And I may have been the only one who actually provided feedback, but I was aggressive
Oh,
about
no,
it.
that's not the case.
Pardon me?
That's not the case.
Okay, good, good.
Plenty.
But he was patient, and he made changes that we talked about, and very responsive, and I just, when I met him, I couldn't believe he was the same person. So thanks for being such an easy person to be the liaison with the public. That was a good experience for me back in the day.
Great. Go ahead, Mai.
Well, Darren and I were in the same cohort for Leadership Grand Traverse when I think probably right after you took on this role, and right after I moved back to Traverse City. And in our initial retreat weekend, Darren got me through the physical challenges that we had to do with this training experience. And at the time, I thought, wherever this guy is going to be, he's going to be an amazing leader and a wonderful person to have on his team. And so I'm glad to hear you're going to be living your best life and having wonderful adventures, but I certainly think that you'll be missed.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a full circle. All right. Well, I'll just add that I got to see your whole tenure here. You brought rigor and seriousness to a important operation in many different ways I won't list, but I always just held you in the highest regard and got to see you invest proactively in making us a better, more well-oiled machine. So on things like safety, by the way, that really do matter. So great job, and have fun in the next phase. You're going to be staying in the area at least? So we'll see you around.
He's still a
So
customer.
far, yeah.
Okay.
I still have a
Keep it that
mortgage.
way.
I'm still here.
Good, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
Good.
intent at this point.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you around, and good luck in the next phase, and thank you for your service.
Thanks very much. Appreciate you.
All right.
Oh, thank you. And then the only other item, I just wanted to give Jake an opportunity just to talk a little bit about the energy audit. If you had an opportunity, you wanted to give a couple reminders?
Yeah, quick update to the energy coaching. We were able to perform the evaluation on 5-year houses. I think Mai and Paul, we weren't able to get to yours, but if you want to do it, it's still open. We are combing through the reports right now, making sure that it's giving valuable information and it's invoking action once you read it. So we expect to have those to you tomorrow, and then any comments you might have or feedback is welcome so we can make those adjustments. But hopefully the experience was great for you, and the follow-up is even better, and it actually gives you useful information. That's our biggest goal, that we'll get our customers to actually make changes and do some of these projects that we want them to do. So thank you.
That's great.
Jacob, in terms of gathering feedback,
Yeah.
I sort of kept a little running list of things that I thought could be tweaked on the actual input
Okay.
questionnaire. And then maybe just like a couple other things during the actual evaluation when Andrew was at my house.
Okay.
And should I just like do it, send it directly to you?
No, but just work
Yeah,
with
you can
Jake.
send it right to
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
That's the reason why you guys are the guinea pigs.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I figure,
yeah.
so that, even, so yes, I will do that.
Yeah, that's great, because this is very much the trial period. We're going to kick it off officially July 1st, so on Tuesday. But any changes we can make right now, we've been pretty much working on it nonstop.
Okay.
Colin's been helping a lot, too. So any changes we can make before we do the full launch would be great. I mean, knowing that we'll probably make some adjustments here and there as we go along.
All right, I'll definitely get that to you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Same. And,
Alright.
I thought, I mean, I would just say the individual doing this has a good personality and demeanor for this kind of work. You're going to people's homes, you're asking semi-personal questions about their past in terms of how they've treated their homes, et cetera, and so, I'll give also some, minor suggestions, but as far as the actual just bedside manner of the individual, it was very good experience.
Totally
And,
agree. He was
Yeah.
great.
Very professional,
Very
yeah.
professional.
It,
Great.
like, it
Good.
was fun.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have him, and he's from our metering department and has had an interest in this for some time, so it's really exciting to see him get
Yeah.
out there, and he dove right into it, too. So
Yes.
it's been fantastic working with him.
All right, any other feedback for Jake? All right, we'll get some, let's just by the end of the week today, feedback to Jake for those of you who went through this pilot process.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. Thank you.
And then, Chair, that's all I had.
Well, I guess I give the board one last chance to say something before we move on with our evenings. Anything else? Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.